Welcome to Norway. Alright, and welcome to Bergen, Norway. I'm going to be filming every day of this 7-day trip. We're starting our road trip tomorrow, but we're spending the first full day out here in Bergen. And I'm going to go through everything that we do, and most importantly, the budget and what we're spending while we're out here. So we will be exploring a bunch of fjords out here in Norway for the next week, and we're going to be spending our first full day out here in Bergen. So right now we're at the end of peak season out here in Norway. We're in mid-September, and the reason we came out here is I found a good flight deal on Delta out of Los Angeles for about 40,000 sky miles. I used it with my Delta points. I personally have an Amex Platinum as well as a American Express Gold Delta card, and 40,000 points round trip to Norway was pretty much a no-brainer. So the fact that we're here in peak season is pretty awesome. So Bergen is actually Norway's second biggest city. Doesn't feel like a big city. It's kind of situated around a bunch of mountains, and it's pretty cold. I mean, it's probably in the 50s right now, but it's very nice and mild today. So behind me is Brig. I actually don't know how to pronounce it.
Bryggen.
But we'll just say that. Very touristy area, but very historic area. A lot of these buildings were built in the 1700s. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of different restaurants. There's some hotels, and just an important cultural area of the city. We actually did fly from LAX to Copenhagen, but just super important to be flexible, because as long as we were able to get somewhere in Europe, you know, anywhere in Denmark or Amsterdam, Paris, Oslo, you can find pretty cheap flights through Norwegian to get over to anywhere in Norway. So we actually spent a few days in Oslo, but now we are in Bergen. Flights are about $100 per person, just one way, which is pretty cheap considering we got round trip flights from LAX to Copenhagen for only 40,000 sky miles. As far as accommodations, Norway is obviously a little bit more expensive than a lot of Europe. That being said, you can still do it on a budget. We're actually staying at an apartment and an Airbnb right now, and the price was about $150 a night, and hotels are relatively similar prices as well. So just expect that. You could find a pretty cheap hotel for probably anywhere between 80 to 120 bucks a night if you don't care about the comfort as much. But because this town is pretty small, it's really easy to find a lot of options, and as long as you can stay within that price range, you'll find plenty of options for you. We are making our way to the Fjords, I want to say that's how you pronounce it, the mountain. So we're gonna hike up the mountain and take the funicular down, so the little cable car. But in order to get there, you have to walk kind of up these neighborhood cobblestone streets to the trailhead. Okay, so we made it to the top. Beautiful kind of panoramic point. There's a lot of people over there, so we're gonna kind of hang out on the side, but not too bad, 2 miles up and about 1,500 feet. Really nice little day trip, day hike. Okay, so the funicular took us literally all the way back down into the city, which is really awesome. There is a mid-station stop about halfway through, and it was about $7 to take it all the way down one way. So you can either hike back down for free, or you can spend $7, which Took less than 5 minutes to get down. Okay, so we still have energy. So we took a bus to kind of one of the other peaks, the base of one of the other peaks called Mount Ulriken. And the bus ride is like only a couple bucks, so very, very cheap. And we're about to ascend this 1,500 foot and 1.5 mile mountain to the top. You can see it right here. So ideally we'll be able to take the gondola down once we get to the top, but this one's gonna be a doozy because it's straight up, not far at all. We'll see if we can make it. Okay, we're maybe like 200 steps up, and it's tough. It's tough. You gotta burn off that cappuccino calories, you know? What's really amazing is there's just a stream next to us the whole time, and the stairs are like not concrete stairs, they're rocks. And you just can't imagine the people that built this. It's like very intricate, amazing work. But lots of stairs. Okay, so still a couple hundred stairs. I had to take a break up here because it's so beautiful, and I almost threw up. But we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Just like that, we're done. Okay, so within a couple minutes we made it all the way back down. I will say it was 25 bucks a person for the one-way ticket back down, or you could have walked. Personally, I would have been crawling on the way down, just my quads gave out a couple times, but we made it and paid the 25 bucks. But what an awesome experience. So from my calculations, that's about 2,500 feet of elevation in about like 4 miles, pretty much 4 miles. Not bad, not bad, good day's work. We start our road trip tomorrow out of Bergen and heading into the fjords. We'll catch you tomorrow. Alright, and good morning everybody. Day 2, we finally started our road trip and we're heading to Voss. It's about an hour and a half away from Bergen. We got our car rental for about $330 for 6 days, which is actually pretty cheap considering this is Norway. I was expecting maybe closer to $500 or $600. But within 10-15 minutes, we're already, I mean, look around. There's so much amazing beauty around already. Fjords, a lot of tunnels, a lot of mountains. But I just wanted to make a quick pit stop because this is just insane. All right, and we made it to the Fleischer's Hotel, which is actually one of Norway's oldest hotels. We're in the center of Voss here, and it's pretty awesome. Like, there's a gondola up there and beautiful river right here. Looks like a pretty small town, but they call it like kind of the center of outdoor sports. So there's base jumping, paragliding, lake sports, skydiving, things like that. We're only here for a night, so I'm not sure what we're doing yet. Yeah, just excited to be here and kind of be away from all the crowds and the big cities and just being able to be outside and look around. This place is beautiful. Okay, so we made it back to our hotel and we just kind of took a walk across this lawn, and there's the hotel right there. We've got the culture house to Voss. I actually don't know what's in there. It looks like a restaurant, library, but we're right on the lake. So everything's pretty compact in this small town. It's such a good day. It's probably, you know, high 50s, low 60s, no rain, bunch of paragliders out, and it's really just such a beautiful day in this little mountain town. So we went to the sauna and spa area of the hotel, and now we are walking into town to get some schnitzel, which is supposedly really cheap and gonna be really good. But Google Maps said like 100 to 200 kronas, which is around 10 bucks, $10 to $15. So let's see. All right, good morning. Still in Voss this morning, and we are on a sheep farm, which is just amazing. First of all, we've got a long day ahead, a long drive, 4.5 hours north to Olden, which we're going to be for a few days, but this is the long leg of our drive, and super excited. I think it's going to be a really beautiful drive through the fjords, but got to make some pit stops like this. It is not every day you get to be on a boat in a fjord in Norway. Okay, I wish I could even explain how surreal this is. Look how massive these mountains are. We're at, it's called Boyabrin Glacier. You can see the glacier right here. We're still about an hour away from where we're staying in Olden, Norway. Just off kind of the side of the road. This is one of the most surreal places I've ever seen. And welcome to Olden, Norway. After about 5-6 hours of driving and pit stops, we made it to this beautiful little mountain fjord lake town, which I think it's actually the ocean, like super inland ocean. But we have a beautiful Airbnb. It's actually a house like right on the water, and I spent about $550 for 3 nights, which might sound a little expensive, but all the hotels were actually pretty equivalent, if not a lot more expensive than this place per night. So it's a great deal. Let me give you a quick tour. So yeah, we've got a nice little living area, living room, great views, huge kitchen and dining room, and we have a bedroom here. We've got a bathroom right here, which, notice all the Norwegian places we've stayed so far, they have these like corner showers, which I think that it's just like a great way to utilize the little space in a bathroom, and it opens up the bathroom quite a bit. And then we have a loft. Okay, so we have up here in the loft, got a nice little viewing area, which will be fun to work at, I'm sure. And then it's super dark, but 2 beds. And then we have like this mudroom area, and then out to jacuzzi. Not bad, huh? I'll actually leave a link to this Airbnb if you guys want to book it. Definitely recommend. And again, it's in the town of Olden out here in Norway. But that's going to do it for tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Day number 4 out here in Norway. Currently we are at Briksdal Glacier, which is a pretty well-trafficked hike, about 3.5 miles, 600-foot elevation gain. The hike itself is free, but the parking was about $7, so super cheap. About 30 minutes away from our house in Olden, and like yesterday, It's just absolutely beautiful. Hiking to a glacier. We're right next to this riverbed pretty much the whole way up, and then it leads us to a glacier lake full of that turquoise blue water. That is that classic aqua color that looks like blue Gatorade. Absolutely amazing. Okay, and after our little glacier hike, we are at the Olden Sauna, which is this tiny like glass sauna with a view of the lake, and it was about $11 per person per hour, and it can hold like 8 people. It's a public sauna, but we're the only ones here, so hopefully we get it to ourselves. But what a perfect way to end a glacier hike. Okay, so it's approximately 90 degrees Celsius. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But what's nice is when you get too hot, you just numero uno. Going to the store in our little boat. Okay, and we're off. We got our smoothies and some fruit snacks, and Sam's doing the rowing, but it is a madhouse over there. I think this cruise ship right here is ported at Olden today, so there's a ton of people just going to the little grocery store for whatever reason. This is so cool. Just taking the boat to the little town to get some snack. Kind of taking a bit of an easier day today, being our last day, full day in Olden, and kind of just taking it slow, you know? We gotta have one of those days on a big road trip like this, because we've just been moving so much lately. Good morning. We're actually heading out of the Lowen Olden area today and climbing this beast. 3,200 feet and a mile and a half. So it's called the Lowen Via Ferrata, and it is kind of like a rock climb slash mountaineering slash hike. We're all harnessed up here. We were able to rent harnesses and carabiners and helmets for about $80 to $90 for 2 people, so 40 to 45 bucks each, and we have those for the rest of the day. This is supposedly going to take 5 to 6 hours. Great way to end our time out here in Lowen before we make our way back to Bergen tomorrow. Okay, we've walked about a quarter of a mile to the bottom. Gotta go all the way to the top. That's how you do it. Simply hook on one, find the other, hook on 2. Okay, so we are strapped in and it's not bad. All right, hooked in, let's go. All right, we're right in the middle and it is wobbling pretty hard, but pretty stable. Whew. If you're scared of heights, this is the part that is kind of crazy. First bridge. Second bridge. right, I think we're getting close. Okay, so we made it to the top and it's just beautiful up here. And I think we're definitely gonna take the tram down. I don't know if there's another way to get down. But we're tired, you know? It's like over 3,000 feet, 4 hours, a lot of just dead climbing. There is like a cafe and stuff up here, so we'll probably check that out and drink a bunch of water. Especially, I think we had like 50 ounces between the two of us. It recommended to have 3 liters or 1.5 liters at least per person. So we should have brought twice as much water at least, but we're good. And there you have it. We made it down in like 3 minutes after 4 hours of hiking up. I will say the one thing that they do get you on is it was like $90 for both of us, so $45 each just to ride the gondola back down. And it's only like, I think it was like $55 to ride it up and down. So it's only $10 more for round trip, but it's okay. I mean, there's no way I was walking down that thing. There also was a really cool restaurant at the top, but it was pretty expensive. So we're gonna go to the convenience store and grab a feast. So we've driven quite a bit. We've driven maybe like 8 hours this trip and just filled the gas. We have a hybrid car, but we spent about $47 on this tank. It had about just over a quarter of a tank left. So for 47 bucks, us driving as long as we did, gas is pretty cheap. Like if you get a hybrid car, you can pretty much go anywhere for a good price with the gas. And we are heading back to Bergen right now. We're still about 2 hours away, but wanted to make a quick pit stop in the Highlands. It's such a beautiful sunny day, and really like this whole is you could go. I'm not sure what the cost would be for a camper van, but that's probably what we'd want to do next time. But that being said, the way that we did it was absolutely perfect. Like I said, accommodations weren't as expensive as I thought it would be, and the car rental and the gas was not that expensive. I think the biggest surprise costs were the food, from my opinion, and kind of just the random costs like taking the gondola down and random things like that. But that's normal for a trip like this. But other than that, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching if you made it to the end. Make sure to like and subscribe if you can, as I want to make more of these videos. Hopefully you have a chance to make it to Norway at some point, and if you do, I hope this video was of some help. Alright guys, thanks so much. See you on the next one.